Okay, it's time for a very straightforward talk. My name's Deone. I do a lot of stuff as far as building houses, working on cars, anything DIY. It's all on my channel, you can check it out, linked below. But today's not about everything, today's about one specific topic that not a lot of people are talking about. So we're gonna be talking about the BW4444 in specific, but keep in mind that this also is gonna somewhat pertain to the conversation of the BW4445. This is also gonna be coming from personal experience because I own a magnificent truck. His name is Zeus. I've had him for about, I think I'm going on 5 years. My truck is a sport. So to make it very clear straight out of the gate, I own a BW4444. I'm just gonna start calling them 44 and 45. Anytime I reference a video, I'm gonna take it down in the description below for you guys to kind of like follow along if you guys wanna check out some of the cars that we're working on, my bike, truck, house, whatever. Being that the 44 comes in typically the higher trim level trucks, you'd think that it's going to be the more premium, but then the other one being a 45, which is obviously one higher than 44, you might think that also means it's a step above. Those don't mean anything, period. Just get that out of the way. They both have their unique way that they work, which makes them more proper for certain people's needs. Just so everyone's on the same page watching this video. One, this is completely meant to be a group discussion. If I'm wrong, if you have comments that you want to make, leave them down in the comments below. Someone far beyond your time will probably go through the comments and read all of them, and your input might actually help them figure out what they're going to do. Number two, for the people that don't know and that are looking for the differences between the two, I'm just going to kind of flat out come out and say it. The 45 locks, the 44 kind of locks. It's a little bit more complicated. The 45 has, like, from what I know at least, a mechanical lock. Think of it as like gears. When you tell it to go 4x4, it like locks and there's no coming out of it. The 44, however, is clutch plates. So friction material that then binds, and when it catches, it tries to give it enough friction so that way it then sends power to the front wheels. The clutches can definitely, with time and, using it, can wear down and lose friction material and then start slipping, potentially. Not my experience yet, but for reference as well, my truck has 200,000 kilometers, to which mine showed no signs of slipping. With that being said, the mechanical is definitely going to be stronger, but it doesn't have some of the positives that you can get from the 44. One of the positives being that you can have a 4x4 auto mode. If your gear selector, if your 4x4 selector area look like this, then you have a 44. If it doesn't have auto, then you have a 45. So one of the very first things is drivability. I'm going to give points to the 44. The reason being is that because you get that 4x4 auto, you can set it and forget it and never have to think about it again. When you do put in 4x4 lock, what it's going to do is it's going to consistently try to keep them closed. So theoretically locked. And then you also have the low, which is the same, but it gives you a different gear setting. On the 45, you only have the lock, two-wheel drive, and low. You don't have an auto. You don't want to be taking your 45 and driving it on a pavement at all. It's either ice, snow, or off-roading, and those are the only places that you want to use that thing, unless you're in two-wheel drive. However, with the 4x4 auto, it's smart. It's ran by a computer, so the friction plates will go on as soon as they detect the difference in speed between the front wheels and the rear wheels. Super convenient for you, because it'll only turn on for the amount of time that it takes for your wheels to catch up to one another again, and then it'll shut off. You can leave in 4x4 auto year-round. Nothing's going to hurt it. It might save your ass if you're on the highway and you just happen to hit a patch of ice, but it's, been clear roads the whole way there so far. The 45 is more oriented if you want to go off-road. If you are 100% like, I'm going mudding every weekend with the boys. I'm more of the style that, to be honest, I'm more of a pavement princess kind of guy. I'm not against taking my truck off-road at all. It's just I don't know, I haven't had the time. I don't have the friends in that kind of group. However, I have taken my truck through ditches, and lots of them, and places that I definitely shouldn't have gone, period. and my 4x4 has saved my ass. So if you want to go off-roading, get the 45. If you want to go pavement princess, and if you're going to spend, which most people do, 90% of their time on the pavement, you're going to want the 44. Unless you're very extreme when you go off-road, you're probably not going to need the 45. The other thing I was going to say too is, like I said, I own the 44 and I've driven it roughly 5 years. I might not go off-roading or through ditches as often as some guys may be watching this video, but one thing I probably do as much, if not maybe, I'm probably in the top 10% or whatever of people that take their truck drifting in parking lots, fields, wherever you can. That's me. I've never had an issue. My 4x4 has always kicked in. It has definitely been locked. Like, I can feel it not cutting in and out. One of the issues that I've read a lot about is that people are saying that the rear tires are only spinning and the front are not. Could be your clutch plates. Could be that you're not giving it enough gas. If you're going on the throttle, off the throttle, on the throttle, off the throttle, or just very, very slightly tapping the throttle, you might not be giving it the juice. Potentially what you need to do is you just, like, every time I go drifting or whatever, I just mat it. Obviously, like, I blip off a little bit, but I'm pretty consistent with the throttle, and I kind of modulate it a little bit. I constantly have a good amount of power going to the wheels, and both of them are always turning. So as far as the question goes, is it good? I would say it's great. Like I said, 90% of the people stay on pavement. 90% of the people are gonna be in this category. It's only really the 10%, the very small group of people that are gonna go off-road every weekend that are gonna want this 45 for sure. And just because longevity. I'm sure the 44 can hold up very good. And the reason why I say that is because my truck, it is done up with mud tires, not a big lift, small lift. And yeah, the previous owner definitely was an off-roader. I can tell because I spent, I think it was like 6 hours trying to scrape the mud off the underside of my truck when I had it on a lift one time. It's been used brutally, and my clutch plates have no sign of wear. It catches so much so that my transfer case is stronger than my differential. I'm gonna show you something if you guys want to know more about it. Go and check it out on the other video. Excuse all the construction mess. This is my old transfer case. We just installed a new one in my truck. Rob loves working under cars, believe it or not.
I like hoists much better.
As I'm aware, it's literally the only video on YouTube, on the internet, that shows you how to change your transfer case in a Ram. So that leads me to think that it's not that common of an issue, or the Ram community is just slacking. But it's there if you guys want it. Be forewarned though, I am a vlogger, so it's more of a vlog style. But I show you all the little secrets and things you're gonna wanna do if you're paying attention. I have another thing you're gonna wanna hear. Now, a lot of people, what they're doing is they're actually trying to figure out a way to permanently lock the 44. Let's say you wanted to take your sport off-roading. Let's say you're that 10%. 3 things you can do as far as I'm aware. So first thing you can do is you can actually swap in a 44-45. However, it's a little bit more complex. If you're gonna do it, you're gonna need a scan tool so that way you can tell a computer new commands and whatever. You need to switch a few things electronically, as well as the entire transfer case. So you need to find one of those. People have done that. It's not completely unheard of. Second thing is, I've heard people have used, they're saying there's 2 wires inside the connector that goes into the module or whatever on the exterior of the transfer case. And if you can send a full 12 volt power through one of those wires, it should theoretically lock the clutch completely. Like, it should never separate ever. So you could potentially try that. However, I don't know if that's going to work any better than it would for you to just click and hold the 4x4 lock. I feel like that would do the exact same thing. Dodge, I'm thinking, correct me if I'm wrong, would have made it so that was the constant on. Theoretically, the full 12 volt constantly on, same thing. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. Kind of my thought when I read that, but I'm not 100% sure, and I have not ran a multimeter off the lead and tested that to kind of see. The last thing that you can do is potentially, if you really wanted to, you could, I believe it's a rebuild. You'd probably call it a rebuild. You'd take your 44 out, rebuild it with the Rockland Standard Gear Set or whatever it is. There's something that they make that you basically install inside. You'd have to find more. I'm trying to find details right before I film this video, but I couldn't really find a specific kit, or else I would link it down in the description below. Sorry, but a replacement for the clutch or something. I don't entirely get it. Like I said, Ram boys are slacking, not enough info on the interwebs. The one thing with that is I have read a lot of people are having issues switching back into two-wheel drive when you go to the four-wheel drive. So it creates kind of a smaller issue, and you could potentially get stuck in four-wheel drive, which is really bad if you're coming off the off-road course or mud pit or icy pavement and you're going on to dry pavement. Then you could really probably mess something up inside your transfer case, and then you're going to be buying a 45 anyway. So I want to make it a very clear opinion that I have. If you go off-roading all the time, you're going to want the 45. Any other scenario, you know, winter driving and stuff like that, there's guys that are saying that the 44 can't go through 6 inches of snow. I live in Canada. We get snow all the time. Trust me, I've gone through snowbanks. It'll do it. Mine will, at least. And it's got 200,000 kilometers on it. It's well used. So anyone else, I would suggest to get the 44. The 45 is a little bit cheaper if you have to replace it, or at least from what I was seeing when I had to buy mine, my spare. Yeah, the 44 is not going to do you wrong. It's very capable. I'm very happy with mine. I love the way it drives. Don't get me wrong, everyone's going to have their opinion, and like I said, I encourage you guys to leave your feedback, your ideas, your beliefs down in the comments below, and everyone can kind of have a discussion about it and stuff. From my experience, the 44 is totally worth it. So I hope you guys can appreciate the straightforward, kind of quick, straight to the facts kind of chat. It's mainly just focused for people that don't really know what's going on with this conversation and don't feel like spending tons and tons of man hours trying to Google it and figure it out. And if you guys are interested in vlogs or anything like that about fixing, working on this motorcycle, one day building this BMW, check out that video. It's old, but it's gold. Or the upcoming fixing of the the Ford Escape, then feel free to click that subscribe button. I'd appreciate it. Stay safe out there and have a good one. So I hope you guys can enjoy. Oh my god. So I hope you guys. Oh my god, why can't I do this? If you're still watching, leave a like. Appreciate you. Straightforward, kind of like. Oh my god, this is so hard. Apparently. Bloopers.